Maria K and welcome back to my channel. You read the title, you know what this video is going to be about, but I actually got the idea from this video because I was actually asked these questions in an interview, and I felt since I had already collected those answers for an interview at school, where I was asked these questions, I thought I'd share them with you here on YouTube as well, since I know that these are some questions that I frequently asked myself as a year 9 student, and I'm sure that many of you as well also have the same questions. So I'm going to be sharing with you the answers, at least in my experience and in my opinion, to some of the most frequently asked questions on how to choose your GCSE options yourself. Okay, so a little bit of background information. If you're interested, I did take 10 GCSEs, I think. Yeah, so I actually have a video dedicated to this on my channel. It's actually the first video on my channel, and I'll surely have a link somewhere popping up here, where I share my GCSE results. And I did also include a few clips from my live reaction from when I found out about my grades online because of the situation, of course. And so yeah, go ahead and check out that video. So I'll just give you a brief overview while we're here. So I took math, chemistry, physics, English literature, English language, economics, business, French, global perspectives, and music. And also in that reaction video, I didn't include my, half a year of progress in additional math. I was going to take the test, but of course, during this time, I didn't get the opportunity to. But yeah, I also had begun with the course for additional math. Okay, so yeah, now that we have set aside the introductions, let's move on to some of the frequently asked questions. Okay, so the first one is, what was it like learning those subjects? Okay, so that is a very good question. I guess it depends on your fluency in each of the subjects and how your brain is wired. But then of course it's been proven that you're not really bad at the subject. But setting that aside, whatever subjects you're most comfortable with will certainly give you an advantage in your experience in learning those subjects. In my case, I found it to be quite easy, that process of learning those subjects, mainly because I was practicing throughout the course and I was practicing often. And I definitely think that it aided me in that sense. But I guess it's commonplace that year 10 is definitely easier. Yeah, they found that year 10 was definitely easier, and in my opinion, it was like the introductory year. Okay, it was where you started to grow familiar with that subject on a GCSE level. In my case, I found that year 10 was a time to explore that subject, especially in the case of business and economics, because those were subjects I had never learned in my life. And that year 10 period really helped me explore the subject on a GCSE level. And year 11 was, of course, more serious and more focused on the final GCSE product. Okay, so the next question here I have is, how did you choose your subjects? Okay, so I'm gonna share my experience, how I chose my subjects, but I'm aware that many people have different methods going about this, so yeah, I'm aware of that, but I'll just share with you my experience in that case. So I began by listing some of the subjects I surely wanted to study, which were none of them, because I wasn't sure about anything at this point. But if you do have a subject you are sure you want to take, then that will surely help you out. Now, there are some GCSE subjects that are compulsory that you should also consider. In my experience, as I shared, I wasn't really sure about anything. And so, because of that, I wanted to keep my options as open as possible. so that keeps many avenues open. When I was in year 10, I was really focused and honed in on engineering, and so I chose chemistry and physics as those subjects that would help me get into engineering. I also took business and economics because I thought those were subjects I was interested in, and I wanted to learn if these were subjects that I wanted to do in the future. I mean, I had never taken them before in my life, and so since GCSE is that introductory certificate level, then yeah, I surely grabbed that opportunity to learn 2 new subjects that I had never before encountered. And so in that sense, I left 2 paths open: the engineering path with chemistry and physics, as well as the finance path with business and economics. And of course, there are some subjects that overlap and keep those pathways open, such as math. And so it's really helpful to think strategically in that sense, and choosing subjects that allow you to open some paths that you are interested in. So the next thing I did was I opened up and pulled up some university websites, and I opened the courses I was interested in. Now, when I was in year 10, I was lost, completely lost. I had no idea what I wanted, and frankly, to this day, I still have no clear path, I guess. So I opened up those university websites, and for each of the paths I wanted to keep open, such as economics or finance, as well as engineering, I looked up, okay, so what GCSE subjects are essential for those courses so that I can get accepted into these courses. And since, of course, GCSEs are the key to A-levels, and I mean, in many schools, you can't take certain A-levels unless you have their respective GCSEs. So I wanted to also know, okay, so what GCSEs are compulsory, and in consequence of that, what A-levels are also compulsory. And therefore thinking strategically in that sense and trying to keep those paths as open as possible. For example, if you want to take business, take math, economics, business. If you want to take engineering, take math, chemistry, physics. If you want to take medicine, take biology. If you want to do education, then, I don't know, check what universities need for that path. If you want to do politics and law, then select the respective GCSEs that you would need for those. And while you're looking at those university websites, ensure that you select universities that are well known, okay? Simply because they set the standard for other universities as well. I know that most universities do not specify what GCSEs are required, rather they specify the A-levels. However, some do require some GCSEs, so it's important that you do check up on that. For example, in some universities in Canada, they require an English literature GCSE or an English GCSE with a grade B to prove that you have proficiency in the English language, especially if you're studying in a non-English native country, such as myself. And so once I had established what subjects I needed for the respective university courses, I was set and I kept my paths open. And if you're still stuck at this stage, you can brainstorm some ideas on a mind map perhaps, construct a pros and cons list, consult people in the respective trade you're interested in. Maybe you can fill out your option sheet or however you select your GCSEs in pencil, and then you hold it up to your face and you say, okay, is this reasonable? I mean, sometimes writing it down does help. I don't know. So yeah, I guess if you follow this format, it should really help you out. And of course, I mean, these are GCSEs at the end of the day. They're not your end career. You can always change them. And that doesn't mean that if you don't take a certain GCSE, okay, your life is over. And they will certainly not be the end-all be-all in your future career. So yeah, that's just something to think about. So the next question is, how long did it take you to make a choice on your subjects? In my case, it took around about 2 weeks. And maybe 2 weeks before that, just starting to consider what paths I wanted to keep open. Yeah, sometime like that. The following question is, who did you consult with while picking your subjects? Okay, so this is quite a good question. It's important to note that, okay, before you take in other people's opinions, perhaps consider your opinion. On the other hand, if you know that you are the kind of person to be kind of set in your ways and not open to taking in other people's opinions, then perhaps don't begin with a set in stone idea as to what GCSEs you want to take on. And rather, before deciding for yourself, consider other people's opinions as much as you can. I know that might be hard for some people, but I mean, other people's opinions will help. Okay, so returning to the question, who did you consult with? So the first people I consulted with are my teachers, my subject teachers. And I mean, they know if you are the kind of person and if you are capable of taking on that subject on a GCSE level. So I think their opinion is invaluable in that case, and you should surely consider their opinion because they know your grades, they know your ability to learn in that subject. And yeah, some of your subject teachers in year 9 do not necessarily teach you the respective GCSE subject in year 10. And so maybe, I don't know, booking an appointment with one of those teachers that are teaching you on a GCSE level may help you out, and you can ask them some of your questions about the subject. So yeah, consulting your teachers is a great resource. Next, I know this is a little bit controversial, but I did consider my parents' opinions. I mean, after all, they did go through this process themselves, and so they do have an invaluable opinion in that case, and they know you on a personal level, and they can surely guide you on what subjects they think you can succeed in. So yeah, I think it's helpful to consider your parents' opinions as well. I'm surely not saying that their opinion is the end all be all. However, do consider it. And of course, do not select a GCSE subject because your friends are doing it. Rather, choose a GCSE subject because you want to take it or because you're interested in it. And if your friends happen to take it with you, then so be it. And I thought this was kind of self-explanatory and common knowledge, but yeah, I have to point it out because some people do think that way. So please, hello. Okay, so the next question here is, would it be wise to change our subjects if we realize that the subject we chose isn't what we want to do? Okay, so this is a good question as well. You can never really prepare for that situation in that sense. But yes, I think it is the right decision for you to take if you are sure that you do not want to go forward with this subject anymore. And I'd like to share with you a little story. Okay, so I'm not sure if I shared this on my channel, but I did self-study the entire computer science GCSE course on my own during one summer. So that's less than 2 months. I studied the entire GCSE course for computer science, not any subject, computer science. And so during the 2 years of my GCSEs, I never thought computer science was a subject I was interested in. And so when I was looking at some of the university courses available for me, computer science popped up a lot. And so towards the end of that academic year, I decided to, okay, let's learn computer science. And so I went ahead with it. I self-studied for the entire summer. I dedicated 2 to 3 hours every day, excluding weekends, to study that computer science GCSE. It was difficult, don't get me wrong, but I decided, okay, even though this was a subject I had never thought I wanted to study, I decided to study it in my own time. And so, yeah, the reason I am sharing this story is because, yeah, you can totally change your subjects while you can and study subjects that you might be interested in, that might be needed for courses you begin to grow an interest in. And so, yeah, fun fact, after I did study that computer science GCSE as a self-studied, I took the entrance test for the computer science A-level. I passed it with flying colors, and I now take A-level computer science. So yeah, a little anecdote for you there. Okay, so another frequently asked question is, what would be some tips for coping with stress, since this process does play a huge role? Okay, so I know that some people do experience stress during this process, but in retrospect, I thought about it and I wasn't necessarily stressed or anxious. I mean, I was a little, but my outlook onto this was mostly excitedness. I was really excited for this. So maybe that there is a tip. Try and divert that stress into excitement and positivity, because after all, although this is a pivotal step, and if you mess it up, it'll be hard, no doubt. I mean, this is one of the many decisions that will begin to pave your way to a career you would like to do for the rest of your life, and learn about subjects that are relevant to life outside of school. When I submitted my options for GCSEs, I thought that I would remember that day for the rest of my life, but in retrospect, while I'm looking at it now, I don't remember anything about that day. And so although I was incredibly stressed when I gave in that paper, yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is try and have fun. I mean, although this is quite an important decision, I guess it's a decision that precedes more decisions that will come your way throughout your academic life. And so try and enjoy it and have fun. Maybe begin to look at some other YouTube videos about the respective subjects that you are considering studying for on a GCSE level. I mean, there are many students that are on this platform, some that are even A-star students, who already have some great videos out there sharing their experience on how they studied, how they enjoyed, how they revised for the respective subject. And so, yeah, if you are having trouble converting that stress into excitement, then maybe you can try that. And so, with that said, those were some of the questions I was asked during the interview. Yeah, these are some great questions that will surely begin to get you on track with choosing your GCSE subjects. And I hope it helped. I don't know what's happened there. My camera stopped recording. And so, yeah, I just want to wrap it up here. If you have any questions that you think I didn't answer throughout this video, then do share them in the comments below. And like and subscribe to stay tuned for more videos like this one. If you're interested in a little light-hearted video on how I try to improve my productivity levels and motivation levels after a school holiday, then do check out the previous video on my channel, which is a productivity vlog. I'll put a link somewhere here if you're interested. Or if you remember, I mentioned a video towards the beginning of this video on my GCSE results. So if you're interested, then do check out the first video on my channel, which is myself opening my iGCSE results with a live reaction to those. But with that, I'll leave you all here. Take care. Bye.